Mark Gullner back for construction corner number 7, or as my mom calls it, CC7. Shout out Martha Gullner, hope you're well in California. Today, this finds you and your family well, and me on a lift. The reason that I'm not in any one of the specific spaces is because over the last week, they've really been doing a lot of mudding, taping, and drywalling. And while exciting to see the progress, not too much to show you, but I'm very confident you'll see a still of what's been going on here. So I thought I'd take construction corner number 7 to answer some questions. One of the favorite parts about construction corner is after we send out the emails, oftentimes I will get a dozen or so people responding with questions, comments, concerns. Some of them like the videos, some of them never want to see it again. Either way, we appreciate you. We'll appreciate you watching. So here are a couple questions that I've gotten that we'll try to answer after this video or after any of the videos. Should you have questions, please feel free to email me. I'm always happy to respond and walk you through any questions you might have. One of the many tribes that we have here is the Green Team, and members from the Green Team reached out to me and asked what energy or other environmental efficiencies have we considered as we're doing this construction project. So the first, which I've talked about before, is we're changing all of the lights to LED bulbs. Not only will this improve the durability of the space in terms of we won't have to replace the bulbs as often as we do others, it'll also improve our energy output. These new bulbs are incredibly energy efficient versus others, and not only will help the space be better lit, but reduce our energy output and the amount of times we have to change these light bulbs. They've also done an outstanding job reusing any materials that we have taken down or finding other places to use the materials. Two pieces specifically are the slats in the ceiling, which we'll be reusing in spaces where we have to cut holes. And secondly are the bricks that we had to take down as we cut the holes for the windows in the Danziger Chapel. All of these materials be reused in other places in the project. The other thing that we're doing is any of the materials that would have been thrown away, such as chairs or tables, couches, even the pews in the sanctuary have been offered to other places, and many of them have been picked up. So we're not wasting them and throwing them in a landfill. While we haven't spent much time talking about what's going on landscaping-wise, the last part of this project will focus on the interior courtyard, as well as a space outside the sanctuary where we'll develop a new stage. When we do those projects, we'll make sure to use plants that are environmentally friendly and most likely drought tolerant. So thanks Green Team for asking the question. Another question I get, I've been coming to services for a long time and beginning to struggle with opening the heavy doors in and around the temple. Are you planning to add any more of those handicap door openers, actuators? And yes, all of the doors here at Temple in this space will now have actuators so that you can very easily press a button and those doors will open for you. Other things that we're doing is adding tactile pavement wherever we can. That's the textured pavement that you see outside in a lot of spaces. It adds some extra grip for those that may have some mobility issues. Accessible parking, we addressed this with a striping project before the high holidays, but all of the pavement that's being torn up with the project, much of it will have new handicap accessible parking. Braille and tactile signage will be placed along the corridor of all the building, including the bathrooms. And then most importantly, we're adding a new loop hearing aid system. We have a hearing aid system in here currently, but you actually have to use equipment that's provided by us. The new loop hearing aid system, you'll be able to use the hearing aid that you already have, and through an app, you'll be able to get into our services or any other function that's going on here, you'll be able to hear and access with this system. Currently, our hearing system is only available in the chapel and the sanctuary, and this project will allow us to have hearing assistance in all of the spaces, the social hall, the foyer, East Gallery, the chapel, as well as the sanctuary. This is a great one, which I've heard from more than one member. I'm concerned that you are changing the temple too much. Am I going to recognize the Greenstein Sanctuary and or the Danziger Chapel? Preserving the beauty of those spaces was one of the first things that was discussed when we met with the architects. When you look at the front of the Danziger Chapel or the Greenstein Sanctuary, you will continue to see the beautiful tapestry, you will continue to see the beautiful mosaic, you'll continue to see the ark as it is. That space will not change. In fact, it should be enhanced using uplights and other lighting so that you can see those things more clearly. The other thing we're doing specifically in the Danziger Chapel is for the first time we're having that tapestry professionally cleaned, and it should really bring some life to that tapestry and perhaps some colors that you haven't even seen before. Last but certainly not least, in general, what is the timeline for this project? For those of you who have done construction projects in your own home or at work, discussing timeline is a tricky thing. But in general, I'll give you the overview. By March 1st, we'll have Edelson Wax Social Hall, both of the bathrooms, as well as the bridal suite completed. On April 22nd, we'll have Danziger Chapel completed. Mark your calendars for our annual meeting on April 22nd. Also on that day, we will be electing Mark Halprin as the 8th honorary president here at Temple Israel. And this one won't change. The rest of the project must be done by September 22nd, 2025. Why? It's Erev Rosh Hashanah. Mark your calendars again for that one. Erev Rosh Hashanah, please be here in person, September 22nd. A lot of dates we can change. Rosh Hashanah is one of them that's pretty well set. Speaking of calendars, it was great to see over 200 members at Shabbat this last week for our membership Shabbat. Great service and an outstanding dinner. This week, tomorrow night actually, 6 p.m., we welcome the 910 Stax Band for a concert here in the Greenstein Sanctuary. And for Shabbat this week, it is Shabbat Shirah. We welcome the band along with Rabbi Ross and Emily to the Bima for an evening filled with music. It should be a great Shabbat. This is always the part of the video where I thank people. I will do it again here. But this week, special thanks to Jason. Jason's actually the guy behind the camera who's been making all these videos and making this Face for Radio look pretty decent. Wishing you and your family a great week and look forward to speaking with you all again soon.